Hello, welcome back to Stars in the Dark. This is episode 7 of the second series, is what I think we're calling it. It's not the second season because the first series had 3 seasons or 4, something like that. Anyway, I think we should take a couple of minutes to not introduce the characters, but maybe like talk briefly about where your characters are, like emotionally in relation to the crew, what your plans are, that sort of thing. If you have any ideas about that, but just get a feel for what your situation is. And I should say that, as I said last session, most of this session will be downtime. I want to give us a bit of breathing space there. I will introduce options for a few different jobs. You will have time to discuss what you want to do about those. And maybe, hopefully, we'll get to the point where we can do the engagement role at the end of the session, but I'm not pushing for that. It's like, if we get there, we get there. If we get there early, maybe we get into the actual job. But my base assumption is that we'll spend this whole session in downtime with plenty of. Yeah.
Can you remind me? There was some big thing that happened in between our downtime actions. That was a consequence of the last job. What was that?
Winger got picked up and
oh, that's right. Okay.
And beat up by the Corsac agents or detectives who picked him up.
Thank you. There was some big thing, and I just wanted to. I didn't write it down, so thank you.
Cool. Well, let's start with Winger then.
Shoot, I was following along and then I forgot the question. Let's see.
Where are you? What do you feel like? What are your plans for the immediate future?
Okay. Yeah. Winger is like desperately focused on finding, like, raising his level, his lifestyle level or whatever. He can't. He's very kind of a private person, and like having to live in a place where he has no privacy just drives him batty, I guess you might say. Womp womp. But like he's desperately focused on that, but now, like, he's gotten hurt 2 times now, and it takes it because of the system we're using. It's taking a long time, which means to me in the fiction he doesn't recover very well. And like that's starting to make him a little skittish. So like he definitely thinks he made the right choice by not turning to the Corsac people. But like it until he can get that lifestyle raised, he's like, I'm not sure this is worth it. Not that I'm trying to say he's leaving the game, but he's definitely in doubt right now. Luckily, there's Synthahol or whatever it is that we have in Star Wars, so that helps. That's me.
Cool, thank you, Elliot.
Yeah, I remember that conversation when Winger came back, and the friction between me being more concerned about who beat him up and whether and Rook being more concerned about whether he flipped or not. I think it ended with Elliot kind of stalking out, maybe to go look for the person. Overall, I think Elliot feels like they've been doing a good job at the gang. Lots of good shooting and blowing up, and computering. I think it was a previous downtime when I visited Rosie and gave her a gun, or maybe it was this one. Yeah, because this was the got her a weapon, which I'm not sure how she feels about yet, but Elliot thinks it's nice. What else? Don't feel bad about blowing up the receptionist robot. I think that's where I'm at right now.
Cool, thank you. Rich or KZ?
The KZ recent downtime, that's what we're chatting about, right? After he got the lav fixed up, the not a truck, I think he has been probably trying to gig a little bit. He, while not as desperate as Winger, does want to have a place other than living in his land speeder. While it is comfortable, he knows that that's not what anyone else would expect. I mean, you can't really bring a girl back to it and expect her to be in any way impressed. I mean, he did expect them to be impressed, but they weren't. So that was disappointing. So I think he's been gigging it up and driving folks around, getting the lay of the land, trying to earn a few extra creds.
Mm-hmm. So is he like actively looking for some other place to live, or is that just something I should get to?
Not active. He knows he needs a certain, like, he can't. I don't think he can afford a deposit. I've only got 2 in my stash, so.
Mm-hmm. So what does he like have thoughts about where he's going, or is he just like drifting along with the crew?
Ooh, that's a great question. I want to say he has thoughts about where he's going. I'm gonna look in the actions and map, and I think there's a high-rise apartment in. Ooh, is Bright Market too far out? So this is what I imagine KZ will move into once I've moved to tier 2. Yeah, tier 2. So would Bright Market be, could there be tier 2 level housing, which according to the little pop-up by Stash says a simple home in the better part of a bad neighborhood with a few comforts?
Bright Market is probably too fancy for that. Like the better part of a bad neighborhood. Bad neighborhood would be more like, or like lifestyle 2. That could be a nice part of the Warrens, or not quite as nice part of the Foundry. A relatively very nice part out in the scrapyard, but that's out in the scrapyard. Somewhere around the docks. It's
the Foundry.
like,
I like the Foundry or the docks.
Yeah.
I think the Foundry. Yeah, it's a place that was a factory that they converted to smaller unit housing, and he's got a line on it. It's going to fall through because there's no way I'm going to make tier 2 anytime in this campaign. But good to have a goal. But holy shit, tier 2 is 1, 2, 3. Like, now that you've, it's crazy. Yeah, it's not going to happen. There's no way. That's his goal. So I think he has like a little disc, a hollow disc. It's almost like the little hula girl on the dashboard thing. He taps it and it comes up, and it's a little hollow miniature of and it rotates around, and it's the Duracrete and plasteel monstrosity that he thinks is awesome.
But regarding the lifestyle, I should mention that in Standard Blades, it's a flat 10 creds or 10 stash for every level of lifestyle.
Holy crap.
So with this, it's a bit easier to get to the early parts, but the later parts are definitely more expensive. So yeah.
Sorry, that sounded like a complaint, but it's more like
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's like, oh my
Um,
god, these guys have no hope. I think that is the most depressing part of Blades, and also this game is looking at what it takes to have a good life.
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe, yeah, I think I added at least one level of lifestyle. I don't think level 5 exists in standard Blade. Well, anyway, Rook, where are you at? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, so Rook isn't really sure. Her intention coming into this was to regain some of the lifestyle that she had previously. She, of course, came from a nice family on Mandalore, one that was respected, one that you worked hard, you got good results, and then the Great Purge happened, and everything went to shit. And she's working her way back up. She's like, maybe these fuck ups I'm working with right now are okay. Maybe maybe we'll be able to do something with them. We'll have to see. She's mechanically, I think at the end of this session, she will get her first level of lifestyle. I've picked out a picture for her apartment. And it's probably going to be a room in the brothel that I talked about previously.
Mhm.
That she's going to sleep at and stay at and probably store it, just a tiny little hostel kind of place. And so yes, I think she's evaluating everything and trying to see, can I depend on these people? Are we going to be able to make it through it together, or do I need to cut them loose and find someone else?
Mhm. Cool. Um, cool. So, trying to figure out. Oh, there was one kind of semi-mechanical thing I wanted to mention. Hazy, your friend is Kavikas. She's now part of the crew, which means she's even more closely connected to the group. If you find some other character that you want to have as your friend instead, that we can work that in, just to make sure about that. It's not a huge thing, but if you find someone, then we can start to kind of work on that. Cool.
That sounds great. Thanks for that suggestion.
So it's been, let's say it's been a week since you did the bombing. Rack has been in sporadic contact. He's your handler, Rack. He has calmed down. It seems there are no suspicions on him. He's fine, and he so he seems to be have come out of this okay. There are, and you keep hearing these rumors that oh yeah, it was some Imperials, some ex-Imperials who bombed that government building. They're looking for them. Nobody really knows who did it, and there are like different threads on that, but the squad keep popping up. Like, yeah, it was probably that gang. They're the kind of people who would do something like this. Is what people think. People who talk about these sorts of things. So think, yeah, I'm going to cut into another thing here. So it's been a week. So Winger, think this is you're on your way from you're leaving Hadley's Hope. You're about to go home to your miserable little squat above the no longer a restaurant place, when a very nice speeder, like a sleek black land speeder slides up beside you, and the door opens. And let me check so that I'm not making a mistake here.
Zori Bliss.
Yeah, exactly. You like when you peek inside, you see her, and Winger, please join me.
Wow. Yeah, sure. Obviously he winces as he kind of crawls in. I don't know. Do land speeders like come down to the ground, or would they just float the entire time? Anyway,
They generally don't. It's like Luke Speeder in A New Hope. Like it just hangs there.
just hangs there. Okay.
As long as they're working, at least I think.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
how it works.
Anyway, so he climbs in. His ribs obviously hurt. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't seem to be in the best shape. You want a little pick me up? And she hands you like a little, what would you call it? Like a little, not a tin, but that sort of thing, like a little box, like a snuff box, but obviously with spice.
Yeah. Let me take a quick look here. Just want to see something. Okay, yeah. I wanted to see like what my stress level was. Yeah, no, he would definitely be down for that. So he's like, wow, yeah. That's very kind of you.
And the speeder has taken off, and it's like this incredibly smooth ride. You barely notice when it starts moving. And the windows, it's an enclosed speeder, and the windows are tinted. But when you look out, you're moving really fast. It's a fast, smooth ride. Maybe not quite as nice as the lab, like depending on what you're after, but it's this is a more of a like luxury ride.
As an audience member from the previous seasons, is this a step up for Zori?
Or, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is
that's
like
what I thought.
2 steps up.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Wow. But I don't think he's known Zori in the olden times. So like this would probably be standard Zori for Winger.
Yeah. How do you know her? I don't remember if we established.
We haven't, not that I know.
So maybe you did know her in the old time.
Okay, yeah. Maybe I learned my my tradecraft through the Minox. I never thought about it, but you know, the espionage stuff. I don't know. I don't think I don't know if that's their thing or anything, but like you have to start somewhere in.
Yeah.
So.
The Moon Minox were and still are. They're like spice dealers, but I think they have probably also moved up a little bit more to distribution rather than like dealing directly with customers. And there's a lot of security stuff needed for that. So you could definitely have been involved in that, maybe like on the periphery.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, bills of lading and all that, just getting corrected for needs and things like that. Sure. Sure.
Cool. So it doesn't seem like you're going to a specific place. You're not driving in circles, but you're cruising up Emerald Row, and yeah, it's if you're going somewhere specific, you're taking a very leisurely route. Well, I hate to go straight to business, but I am in a bit of a hurry. I'm sure
He's
you've
he's
heard.
opened the box at this point, and like the smell of
Yeah.
spice is kind of wafted into the place, but it wasn't there when you got there, so it must have one of those high, like really good like air filters and things like that in the vehicle. So
Mhm,
anyway,
mhm.
please, I just like the smell of spice is now in the air.
I'm sure you've heard about this explosion at one of the government buildings, not too far from where I believe you operate, correct?
Yeah, big. How to, it was huge. That's what he finally gets down to saying. He's like, what can I say and not say? He has not thought about this whatsoever.
Me and my associates, and that's Black Sun. She's high
Oh
up in
yeah,
Black Sun.
right.
This has been caused disruptions for us, and we would very much like to find out who's responsible.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
If that's something you think you and your crew could handle, then we're willing to pay you quite generously.
Oh,
And you don't need to make a decision right now. If you come upon this information, then you'll be generously compensated.
might I ask what is in store for the ones who did it?
Well, I can't go into details. Obviously, we mostly just want to find out what their interests are, what their intent was. We are,
Right.
as you know, there are a multitude of conflicts with the Pike Syndicate, and we have a truce with the Huts, but it's always uneasy. And who knows who else maybe try to muscling in on our operation.
Definitely not. This was worth recruiting them kind of thing. This is more of a asking some questions kind of thing. Got it.
Yes, asking some questions, and well, depending on the answers, things may progress from there in different ways.
I'm sure there's a lot of conspiracies, so a lot of ideas, lots of fingers pointing.
So it seems there are a lot of rumors flying around, but nothing that seems reliable.
And that word kind of like bounces around in his head, reliable. Like he was reliable to Zori, and that's why like she's come to him, that kind of thing. And anyway, that kind of triggers a little bit of feelings there.
There's been trying to think of what word she would use. You've been a useful asset to us in the past, and I believe we have an amicable relationship. And she kind of pats your shoulder a little bit.
One of her hyenas looks up at that for a second and then goes back down.
Yeah. Um, but like I said, I have yeah, I can offer you a generous payment, and I think she like slide. No, she doesn't slide down. She mentions the numbers. It gets so weird to talk about this in character because the creds aren't the or 4 creds in cash plus the equivalent of 8 creds in spice.
Holy shit.
And that's a lot.
That is a lot.
8 creds in spice. It's not sure that you would get 8 creds if you were selling it, but and it might take a while to sell it, but it would be a lot of money. This is
Right.
She's offering big money.
Well, it's a way of having creds outside of a vault, right? Like it's a capitalized form of money. I don't think Winger can hold back his surprise. Wow, this is really important to you. I get that.
This explosion destroyed some very valuable information for us, and may have complicated things for one of our other assets. Just as you were an asset to the Minox, this person is an asset to us now, and they are no longer able to operate fully in the capacity that they previously could, which is a problem.
Say no more. Say no more. I understand. Yeah. I will get back to you real soon.
Good.
With an answer. An answer as to whether or not they'll, like, if they think they can get the answer, like get her the answer, not the actual answer.
Yeah.
Well, you said you were in a rush, you were busy, so just drop me off anywhere, I suppose. But I don't want to hold you up.
Oh, we can no, I don't think she would. Yeah. They will just drop you off. You're on Emerald Row, maybe halfway up. So if you're walking home, it's a fair walk, but it's not unmanageable, and you can get a cab or something.
Sure.
So it's not you're not stranded somewhere different.
Right, but they're also not like drop me off at some place that would be noticed or something like that. Like wherever is best for them. Yeah.
It's just where your conversation happened to be over.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's cut to rope, I think. What are you up to? Oh, sorry. Actually, I need to check a thing. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I think I'm gonna over the past week or so, I'm gonna spend some time looking into the new recruit that we have. I think Ava. Check into what everyone else, what's been going on. Just gotta lay the land. So I think I hear some of the rumors that it was Imp rebels who bombed the place, and I encourage that. I'm just trying to get a good lay of the land about what's going on. to see what's, why they picked Winger up. Why did they rough up? I just want to make sure that everything's good and nothing's pointing back towards us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
I
want
think I
help
get a
with
pretty
that?
good. Yeah, sure.
I'm
I
also
think once I
interested
get
in
a
pursuing
lead,
that.
okay. Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I think I'll go out, I'll get a lead, and I'll talk to people. And where there needs to be a heavy hand, you can take care of that. That's what you'd prefer, right?
Yeah, I'm good either way.
Okay.
I can do some poking around too with the computers.
Yeah. And my intention here is, I think we'll find out that Winger was picked up just because someone of their species was found in the area, was seen in the area, and that reinforces Winger's loyalty.
Mhm.
So I think whenever I see Winger next, it will be, you're a good part of the team. You took one for the team, and good job.
Yeah. Let's do a gather info roll. See if you find out something more exciting, perhaps.
Okay.
So
Survey?
could be that's more like watching, I think. This could also be like just a fortune roll.
Or sway?
Wait, sure.
So
I mean, it depends on
yeah.
how are you trying to
Yeah.
to get this information.
So part of my intention here was to roll this into my downtime action, which was I'd like to train an insight, which is why the survey first came to mind. But I think the way I described it and what I would be doing is I'd be talking to people.
Yeah.
Ooh, this could also be
Sway or
sense.
consort. Sense can work, absolutely.
Yeah, because since the way we've got it described is about trusting your gut, I like that a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think
So
I'm going to roll
would be
that.
like you're listening to all the rumors, and then you're like, no, that doesn't feel right. This sounds like it's correct. This is what fits with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And
So
this
Elliot,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. If there was something you want to do, then please add it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Elliot, do you want to help with this gut feel sense kind of thing, or to take the results, good or bad, and roll with them on your own action?
I can, if you want help with the investigation, interface is probably my best bet there, which is analogous to sense. But yeah, I'm planning on acting on it either way.
Perfect. So I
Yep.
think that's great. I will take that help, and I think what that is you're kind of I'm doing everything from a gut check,
Mhm.
and you're kind of the grounding. Here are the facts.
Right.
Here's
right.
what I found from my computer research, and there's that great dichotomy of reality versus the humanity messy stuff.
Yeah, and you're just like, I think it's
Okay.
this. I'm like, tell me more about why you think it's like that. You have to kind of walk through your
Exactly.
thinking.
Calculating probabilities versus like going by.
There's only a 73.4% chance that is not true.
Okay, so I'm going to roll that. And I got a 6.
Nice. Yeah. So you were trying to find out like about the investigation, why they picked up Winger and all of that.
And why were they interested in us? Why were they interested in Winger? Is there something pointing towards us for this last job? Yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely seems like they picked up Winger because he's a Chatter fan. There was a Chatter fan who went into the building after the explosion, and it was suspicious. They seemed they weren't on the rolls. Like they haven't been able to identify who it was. But it was a Chatter fan, so they're picking up Chatter fan who they find like in the nearby area, and questioning them, and not too gently. Like they are running roughshod with this because it's a serious problem that someone bombed a government building. So it does not seem to be connected to the crew. This is like they picked up Winger because he's a Chatterpath. He's not the only one this has happened. And they
I turned to
don't
Elliot
seem-
and I'm like,
oh,
go
sorry,
ahead, please.
Yeah, they don't seem to be getting anywhere with that. They haven't like that seems to be a dead end so far, but they don't seem to have anything else. Oh, sorry, they do have some other things to go on. Since you got a 6, you get good information, and you can ask follow-up questions. I just wanted to add that.
Does the 6 give us names and badge numbers?
I think they give you the unit that's responsible for dealing with this, which you can trace to a particular station, and from there on you will be able to find out who they are. Now,
like go off of Winger's descriptions and stuff too.
Yeah. You now you know what place to stake out, so you will be able to identify them. It may take a day or two to like pick them up when they're getting off their shift or whatever, but you know where to look. Yeah, the other thing that they're working on, other than picking up Chadrapan, is that it's ex-Imperials, and they don't seem to have a clear lead on who and where and what and why, other than they're ex-Imperials. They obviously want to hurt the New Republic, but there's no clear reason for why this place, why now. That's
We get a hint that it's ex-Imperials who are doing the questioning or ex-Imperials who did the hit.
Who did the hit?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I turned to Elliot and I'm like, carking racists. I mean, they're just picking up somebody who looks right.
Sounds like an Imperial. Typical.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
What do you mean?
We've narrowed it down. It won't take but a little bit more work to find out who these people were. Are you going to hit them?
Yeah.
Because that would point them back towards us.
I'll make sure it doesn't.
Good. Okay. I'm good with that, and I think whenever Elliot goes off to do his job, I'll go with him.
Cool. Let's say that for a little bit. We're almost at the hour, but we started a little bit late, so I want to give Casey some time here. And yeah, so what are you up to?
Do we have any outstanding needs for the crew? Stuff we need, info we need? We're in between jobs.
Heat still, I think, is a little bit high for my taste.
Yeah, we don't need. Yeah, you can absolutely reduce heat or do some other something else if you want to. We can also save that a little bit for later. We don't need to resolve the action now, even if that's what you're working on.
Okay.
Just in case, I want to let you make sure that you have downtime actions to use in case you want to prepare for the next job. Once you've settled on that, that's the only reason I'm holding.
Yeah, I was just looking at my XP and trying to figure out what I wanted to increase. From a story perspective, Casey, between working gigs, would probably be continuing to hang out at Kavi's shop and occasionally heading out to the nightlife to spend very light amount of cred. Like he's the kind of person that pays the cover, that doesn't buy any drinks. He pre-games before he goes to the club, so that he can just have a good time without having to burn through his limited amount of cash. Yeah.
Mhm.
But he's not very stressed, so he's not seeking it to burn through anything.
You're
Oh gosh.
mostly
Yeah.
like relaxing, having like not putting in any like you're not you're taking it easy. You're having some downtime, basically.
Yes. Having a pleasurable downtime, enjoying what he can.
Cool. Then I think you're at Hadley's Hope. Since that's your regular hangout, I
Yeah.
assume you're there reasonably often. Ingix, the your smuggler contact.
Oh, our cute bunny friend. Yes.
Yeah, your cute bunny friend. She shows up there, and thing. Do you like sit at? Do you have like the crew? Do you have a regular table that you sit at? Do you hang out at the bar? What? How do you?
Oh, I think we're here enough that maybe we do have a table that I'm imagining, like, So I Met Your Mother. Like, there's a table that's perfectly set up for the right angles, and
Yeah.
we can see the door, we can see the kitchen, we know where all the exits are. That's where we like to sit. And if we ever show up and someone's in that table, woe unto them.
Cool. Yeah, all the regulars know that's your table.
Yeah, it's the
If
Pong
they sit,
table. I like took out a vibro knife and wrote Pong underneath.
and you're there often enough, like at least one of you is almost always here because this is where you do business.
Exactly.
So like we should establish who runs this place, but whoever it is, they are perfectly fine with you having your own table. If someone else sits there and one of you come in, they kind of help you usher them. They like usher them out of there to make sure there's no trouble. Um, cool. So you're there at your table, and Ingix shows up, and she gets a drink, and she uh, walks over to your table, and she just sits down. She doesn't like ask or anything. She just sits down. KZ?
Inky, what's up?
Oh, this and that, this and that. You know how it is.
I do.
Gotta keep moving.
Well, at least you're fun to watch move. What do you want?
Oh, I have a job. I think you could help me with just a small thing,
What does it pay?
not a lot. It's just I would do this myself, but I picked up a bit of heat lately. I think there are some people watching me who I'd rather not um, draw to get more attention from. So it's just a couple of creds, but it's an easy job.
I'm only mildly interested. I would probably just do it to make you happy, which seems like a bad call. I mean, you wouldn't
Well,
do a
I
job to make
mean,
me happy.
I wouldn't force you to take money. That's entirely up to you. But if you want it, it's just a pickup in the foothills, small package, uh, simple, no complications.
Okay, I'll do it. Give me the details.
Sure. And she gives you an address in it's in the foothills, and the foothills is the like middle class neighborhood surrounding the Heights, which is the fancy neighborhood. So it's across town. So there's it's not super long. It's a few miles, but depending on what route you take, it can be complicated. If you go straight through Sextech, then that can be a complication and that sort of thing, depending on what you expect. From what she tells you, it's just a small package. You just to pick it up, deliver it to. You can meet her here. You just need someone to go pick it up who isn't her. And there's no rush. You don't need to do this job right away. You have some time, meaning you don't have to do it like right away. This doesn't have to be your next job. And this is also a pretty minor thing. So I think this would be something you could do while you're doing another job or as part of another job. This doesn't have to be a full on mission thing.
Okay.
Just from a mechanical standpoint.
Probably just run and knock it out then.
Cool. We'll keep that in mind. I think you still need to. We'll still go through downtime before we actually act on it.
Okay.
And let's have you make a sway here for your attempts at flirting.
Ah, fun. Okay.
Or consort, if you prefer that, depending on how you're viewing this interaction. But yeah, you have one die either way. So. Or some other, if you want to roll something else. But I want to see a roll for you.
Looking at what other people are good at, because I may raise one of them. Ah, nobody's great at consort or sway. I think I'll raise sway to 2, which costs me, well, crap. You have to spin the because it goes up every time. It's the 7. So I'm raising sway to 2, and
But now you're pulling from your playbook XP. This should be from your resolve.
oh shit, really? Oh, okay. I was very confused by that. I thought.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry if that hasn't been clear. Maybe I haven't. It's been a while since we played. You have different XP tracks for the.
Yeah, I just thought because the way you've listed the XP, every XP I was getting, I was dumping into playbook XP, so I only had one place to look.
Okay.
So
then it's on me. Then I haven't been clear. So
that's okay. I just don't have that many special abilities I necessarily wanted to save up for, so I'll rejigger it. I'll just roll with the 1. That's fine.
Okay, cool. You can. It's fine with me if you want to take them, because I haven't been clear about when you get your general, like when you roll desperate actions, those XP always go towards the action you're rolling for.
Yeah, I haven't had to
XP
roll any
you
desperate
choose where
actions, so but
Yeah,
everything basically it's been all of my end of session XP I've tabulated in the playbook.
Oh, okay.
But I
Okay.
could have been tabulating in the stats, but I hadn't been. That's where I
Yeah, and I've actually been doing kind of the same thing where I just used it kind of as a generic, this is a dump thing. So
yeah, this is my storage for XP before I decide where to put it.
Yeah. Cool. Then let's have it work that way, at least for this session, and then we can deal with it.
Okay, that's very fair, and
next session.
I appreciate it. That I will make a change going forward, and be putting all future XP in the area where I plan. My God, man, you're asking me to plan ahead.
Yeah.
I just want you to know what you're doing to me. Okay. Thinking. All right, 2 dice for sway. Oh, the second die was a 4. The first die was a straight up fail. So yay me.
Yeah. So she's friendly, but not like obviously charmed, but she's not like rejecting you outright either. There's a bit of flirting, but
Nice, nice. I want to have a flirtatious relationship with Winger's rival.
yeah.
That sounds fun to me. Into it. Cool.
So yeah, when you get this done, then yeah, maybe we can you can that if you do this, that will make me happy, and then we'll see.
Okay. I'll
Cool.
drain my drink because I'm already spending the 2 credits she's going to give me. I'm already spending of it on this teacher alcohol. Yep, planning ahead now.
Nice. Cool. Let's take a break here. Let's be back at 1:15. Cool. So let's get to Elliot. You have been working with Rook to do some reconnaissance. You have figured out Rook figured out which Corsac station the investigation is working out of, and you have found the 2 detectives. They are now on the NPCs tab. On top there, they're Half Hilo and Valdov Wham. And they're not difficult to recognize from Winger's descriptions. And these are, from what you can tell, just like observing them, they are like career Corsac. They worked a long time. These are like experienced detectives. They both look old enough that they could have been there from before the Empire. Not definitely, but they could have been. So it's unclear if they came in during the Empire or before that, but it's very unlikely that they came in after that, unless they had been working Corsac somewhere else than on 1330, and they've just transferred here. They seem to be like you observe them going in and out. They're very familiar with the other people moving in and out of the station. So they've at least been here for a couple of years and probably longer. So during the Empire or before. But yeah, they don't seem, and this station is in Seksek, fairly close to the office that you bombed. Presumably that's why they're the ones working the case. And I would say that this is from the information gathering from before. If they suspect Imperial involvement, then it's unlikely that these are ex-Imperials, because they probably wouldn't put them working the case. But that's not a guarantee. They may have been like Imperial sympathizers, even if they came in before the Empire, that sort of thing,
Right.
because it seems very likely that they have been working in Corsac under the Empire. So yeah.
Can I drop a tip to just one of them, say Taff?
Do what?
Drop a tip. Say like I have
Oh, yeah.
information about whoever. Maybe drops like I'm ex-Imperial, so maybe drop some Imperial codes just in case, like that. And I would like to let them know that I would like to meet them at like a discreet location in the fish market or somewhere.
Cool.
Just the one.
Cool. So you're trying to lure him into a trap, basically.
Yeah.
That's your intent. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can. I think I'd like a role to have you, if you want to, like, because if you want to do that right now, you'd either have to go to the station or like approach him on the street. If you don't want to do that, if you want to be more direct, then you'd need to know where he lives or something. So you'd have to get some more information.
Would contacting him personally at the station, like a call or something, would that be enough?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call the station and ask for one.
Yeah, I just need to talk to Detective Hilo. Yeah, give him a back alley location in the fish market and say, if you want to know who bombed them, I have information. I know exactly who did it. I can tell you. Meet me here.
Cool. Yeah, you can do that. Let's have you make a roll. And here I want to know if your focus is on doing this in a way where, what's your primary objective? Is it making them believe that this is accurate information? Is it hiding your tracks so that they can't trace the call or whatever? Or what's most important to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would call from a public place, probably in the fish market near where the location is. So probably the former then.
Yeah, it's
to
more important.
Get him on the hook.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want to roll?
I want to roll hunt. Because it's hunting a target, which is probably more tracking, I guess, instead of luring. I'm not sure what would be best for that.
I mean, if your focus is on not getting caught, on them not tracing the call and that sort of thing, then you could probably use interface. But then if you get a middling success there, then you're not focusing on being believable.
Yeah, I kind of want them to trace it to where I'm calling from in the fish market, so they know that it's coming from there.
Yeah,
it's not just like some rando somewhere.
Are you using your regular voice, or are you creating a voice for them to hear?
Probably using my regular voice. And probably telling them I am an ex-imperial. This is why I have the information. You can verify with these codes. Do.
The do codes. He's for real.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the ability for convincing them.
I mean, if
sway would be
sway would be like you're focused really on hooking them, making this believable, that sort of thing. If you're using this imperial code as your thing, that could also be interface, maybe.
I'll go with interface then. Yeah, providing the documentation, or maybe doing the call and then having the information pop up on his on his screen as the call is going on.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll take that.
And if you're trying to hide that it's not coming from our group, then I'll help.
Yeah,
right? Because I said I'd go along.
Yeah, I mean, the plan is go to a public place in the fish market and just call from there.
Okay.
Whether they connect me to the group or not, I don't know if that's a thing. But yeah, if you want to help, I will definitely take the help.
In that case, maybe I'll help later. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Would my SCOM link plug into that interface role?
Ooh, interesting.
If I'm connected to, if I'm hacking into his desktop to bring up the information.
I don't think you could use that with a public comms station. If you were using, I think that would require some sort of more substantial
slicey stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll just take the 2 dice then. I think that'll be good. That's a 4. That'll do.
That's a 4. So
That'll do
let's
big.
That'll do big.
and I think this is risky standard. To do it with a consequence. I think there's a complication is what makes most sense here. And the complication is that, yeah, you set up the meet, he notes the information. It's clear that he notes it down. He sounds like he believes you. He's not going to come along. Because he's definitely suspicious of what they say.
Yeah.
You can resist that, but you're not going to. You can like reduce that from he's got a full array of backup to he's just bringing one other person.
Yeah, I'll resist that.
Cool.
That's gonna be 2. Ooh, that is 2 stress. Cool.
Cool. So let's keep that for a little bit and cut back to Winger.
Okay.
I think you're the one, like you're I think Rack views you as the leader of the group. You're the one he's had the most contact with, I think. I think he also, like, KZ, he's just he's a driver. He's clearly not the brains of the operation. Elliot is a droid, and Rook,
Not even a person.
yeah, exactly. And Rook is experienced, but does not seem fully trustworthy. So I think that's why he goes to you. So yeah, I think Rack shows up at Hadley's Hope at some point when you're there. You want to be there alone, or do you want to have someone else with you there?
I was thinking it'd be good for me to come in just as Ingnix is leaving.
Oh yeah,
right.
Cool.
You know, so we can butt up the flirting with the rival with me showing up. A la,
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So let's have you come in, and Rack will come in a bit later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I see KZ, and I head on in, give him the fingers too, and
that's when Ingix gets up, and oh, that's my cue to leave. And nice talking to you, KZ. And she gives Winger. She gives you kind of a cold look.
Well, both she and KZ can tell something's wrong because, like, I'm paying no attention to her.
Yeah, and she seems a bit offended that you're not offended that she's brushing you off. So
Right.
she kind of like her ears flick, and she strides out.
Love it. Love it.
I watch her leave. Hey, give me a drink. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me get you a drink.
Whatever, man.
What's wrong?
we're in a lot of trouble.
Nothing we can't handle. What's going on? I'm definitely getting a drink now. Go up, get something alcoholic, something that I've seen Winger drink before, but I didn't pay a whole lot of, like, I don't ask questions
Right.
about what your drink interests are.
You like
So,
Jägermeister? Ugh.
it's cough syrup. Okay. So, set it down, sip. What do we cark up?
Our last job.
Went pretty smooth. I was shocked, actually. Somebody rat us out?
No. But a lot of money's being thrown around. I got picked up, not in a harmful way, but I got picked up today by Zori Bliss. I don't know if you know her. She's Black Sun. And here was the offer for just who did it. And he's like, 8 creds or 4 creds and 8 creds of spice. Just to tell them who did it.
Okay. They're obviously clueless because they wouldn't offer that kind of credit if they knew. So that's good. We just got to ratchet it down. Rook's good. Elliot's fine. You held up your end of the bargain. Nobody even suspects me because nobody's rolled on me. So it's okay.
So here's a thought.
Man, can we collect those creds if we pin it harder on the squad?
You and
draw
I
up
could
some
collect those
evidence.
creds if we pinned it on the other 2. It's a lot of money, KZ. I live in a fucking shithole. Karkin shithole. Karkin Karkhole. And I've got broken ribs. I don't know how long it's going to take. And that's just from like our 3rd job together. You know I'm loyal, otherwise I'd have turned, and I'm telling you now, but man, the temptation is there. The pain in my chest is, well, mostly from getting beaten up, but you know what I mean. Don't you have goals?
Yeah.
Imagine what you could do with all that money. Anyway.
Winger, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm not gonna mention this conversation to Rook because she will kill you.
I don't think you should lie to Rook. I think she should understand that it's tempting, but I haven't done it. I was in the car with her. I could have just said right then.
You're supposed to be the big picture guy, Winger. This is small time stuff, man. 8 credits is nothing compared to what we're going to earn over time. We're just starting out. Punk's going places. I thought you were going to steer the ship. Break a few ribs and now 8 creds you're going to roll? Even be tempted to roll?
You're right. You're right. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. How many drinks before we forget this conversation happened? I'll order double that. Rich's face is frozen.
Okay, this happened a couple weeks ago as well. His internet dropped.
Right in the middle of a good conversation.
I know, it was great.
How are we still recording?
You're on mute, Anders.
Yeah. It's a bit early to go to break, I think. So let's cut back to Rook and Elliot. Your
I see Rich
Yep.
logging in.
yeah, okay, cool. Then let's wait for him.
Yeah, it says it's still recording, so not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. In the
Yeah.
chat, he
Rick-
said maybe he's back. I don't hear him. He looks like you're on mute, Rich, if you're there.
Yeah.
Test 1, 2.
Oh.
Can you guys hear
There
me?
we go.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay. My entire
Um,
USB hub decided to like freeze and I restarted it.
Yeah.
It happened to me once before, and this was a better solution than what I did before, which was turn off my entire computer. So I learned
Yeah.
a new thing. Okay. I have no idea at what point you guys stopped being able to hear me. So
Well, there was a point where you had said like I was the big picture guy and this was small. And what I had said,
And then,
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
And then I was like, you had convinced me, and I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And what I said we can go back to any point in the conversation, but what I said after that was like, how many drinks would it take for us both to forget this conversation ever happened? I'll order double. But
okay. Cool. This looks good. I'll order double. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Listen, man, there's gonna be hard stuff early on. Cause we're low down, but the more jobs we take, the more we grow. We already got Kavi on board. And that stupid carking droid that Elliot likes. We're gonna get stronger, and then they're not gonna mess with us.
yeah. But back to your point,
Yeah.
we need to cark someone over and cash in. But also Black Sun and Zori has a speeder now that
It's not
is
better than my speeder, is it?
it's getting close to your speeder. It's getting close, KZ. There's a lot of money going around. And I saw Elliot and Rook talking to that assassin. of the Black Sun. Anyway, I'll tell everybody when we get face to face. I'm sure nothing will happen between now and that conversation. That last sentence wasn't real, but yeah, like I think we get the drinks. I think we get the drinks.
So we tell them about Zori coming to you. What a great opportunity this is for us all to make money by rolling on somebody who didn't do it. Yeah?
And if we pull this off, I'll give you part of my haul.
No.
You guided me right today. You
Listen,
my
if
mind
you
off.
hate your place, I got room in the lab for you, man. We could like cordon off like little couple blankets up, and like split it in halves. Some really cushy seats. If it's better than where you're living, I'll share.
We could get like a parking garage spot,
Mhm.
bigger than your
Dude, there's a really big trunk,
speeder.
and there's like an egress from the trunk into the main. Trunk could be all yours, except when we have jobs when we have to carry stuff.
Right.
I think this is when Rack comes in.
Oh, right. There are other characters in this world.
No. I was really enjoying this, but we have other things going on as well. So Rack comes in, and he's back to his usual collected self. He sits down at your table. He goes to get a drink first, and then he sits down at the table. And he kind of nods to KZ and then like focuses on Winger very clearly. Winger, now that things have settled down a little bit, I need to follow up on what already forgot. Kale. Yeah, what Kale was up to. I need you to get into Industrial Automaton and figure out why they were interested in those droids, in that droid brain smuggling operation.
Okay. What were you thinking?
I was thinking that you're the experts at doing this sort of thing. There's 6
What were you
creds in the pot
thinking?
for you.
That's what I was getting to. That's what he was
Yeah.
asking. Yep. How much were you thinking, Rack? I do the thinking, but 6. All right. 6
6
creds.
creds. Just get me whatever they have on that operation, why they were interested, what they know about. I don't care how you do it, as long as it doesn't draw any attention back to me.
It's the way of the world. Does he have any information that'll help us at this point? Like,
No, he just knows that Industrial Automaton showed up while you were doing the job. Like he mentioned before, he suspects that his manager was the one who tipped them off, and that's he needs to follow up on that. That's his angle. And
okay.
he has like the agency at large works with Industrial Automaton because they work with labor and corporate connections. But he personally, he doesn't have an in there. I think didn't the secretary talk to? No, she was at the port authority. Yeah, in customs. Yeah. Sorry, got confused. Yeah, sorry, I don't have an in for you. You will need to set it up yourselves, but you're getting the extra pay we agreed on before. That's baked in.
Got it. Got it. You got a time limit or a time schedule?
It's not a rush job. I don't need you to get on it right this minute. But in the next couple of weeks would be good, which essentially means you don't have to do this as your next job, but you should get to it in the next 2 or 3 jobs at least.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, however we like do a gentleman's agreement where it's like, you know, unless one of us comes back and says like, no go, we're good to go,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's not requiring like a firm commitment that you're absolutely doing this.
Gotcha.
But also he is your boss and he's telling you to do this. So
Yeah. Cool.
there could be reasons for there could be completely legitimate reasons for why you can do it. So it's not like he will do something terrible if it turns out that there are extenuating circumstances. Because you are deniable assets, and with that comes a certain amount of freedom.
Right. Very cool. I don't want to talk over KZ though, if KZ has anything to say.
No, you know, the grown-ups are speaking. Casey would sip his alcohol, pay attention, not interrupt.
Yeah, Rack clearly does not take KZ into account with whether the job is going to get done or not. That's like he's just talking to Wing.
That's all I have to say.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool. Then let's not drag it out. Let's take the break now. And so Elliot and Rook. Elliot, you have set this up. You talked to Rook about this. It seemed like.
Yeah.
If you want to
backup.
involve the others, you don't need to determine that ahead of time. I feel like we can do this. Like we can do a flashback to you involving them in
Sure.
whatever way you feel like. So you have set up a meet somewhere in the fish market
Mhm.
with Taff Hilo. So
I think I would like to sit, if it's possible, to set up like a hollow projector, so I'm not physically there anytime soon.
So what kind of place is this? Is it like a cantina, or is it?
I would like it to be like a cinematically appropriate alley or something.
So it's semi-public. It's kind
Yeah.
of out of the
Public nearby, but not immediate.
Yeah. Cool. So he's walking. We see him walking in there, and he's clearly in contact with someone on his comms. He's discreet about it, but the audience can see it at least. And he's got like he checks his blaster that he has in like a shoulder holster, and he looks around, like checks the angles and up on the roof that there's no one like obviously getting the drop on him, and then kind of like rolls his shoulders and
Projector
starts.
flicks on.
Yeah.
little tiny Elliot, detective.
Yeah. You had some information.
Yes. You suspected ex-Imperials? in the bombing of name the building.
That's sorry, I'm trying to find the voice here, but yeah, that's one. No, he wouldn't say that. Whatever information you have, we'll take it.
Your suspicions are correct. I can confirm that the squad is the perpetrator of this explosion, and as you know, they are connected to Black Sun. And as you know, Black Sun is very dangerous.
You seem to know a lot about this.
As an ex-Imperial myself, I still have connections.
Yeah, how ex-Imperial are we talking?
I am free.
Yeah, so you don't have any concrete information?
Oh, I do. The concrete information is to not pursue this line of questioning any longer. And I think that's when I want Elliot to appear behind him with a vibroblade, like from the shadows or whatever.
Cool. Sounds like a prowl.
Yeah. Is there a devil's bargain?
I mean, the obvious one is that whoever is with him spots you, not so that they have time to like intercept you, but they will know that something is going down.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And I'm gonna help on this, I think.
Cool.
So my intention here is to let you do what you're going to do, but I kind of want to make sure that we don't implicate the rest of the group. So
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest if you plan on engaging, I'm going to suggest that we use subterfuge supplies and I think surveillance gear. We're going to record you doing this. This will be our proof, right? That obviously an Imperial assassin droid is going after them, but it'll look like a different assassin droid, not Elliot.
Excellent. I love that.
Yeah, cool,
Are you good with that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to check off my help.
I've done a different paint job with like what would you call it?
Different barcode or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. So is that 4 dice altogether?
Nice.
Cool. Got a 4.
Damn.
1, 4. Well, and this was risky standard. Cool. So you do it with consequence.
And the intention is to like make sure like knife to throat from behind, so that he's not going to move or do anything.
Yeah. I think he gets off a shot at you before. I think taking harm here is what makes sense.
Ooh.
And so that's a blaster pistol. So now I'm looking at the armor thing, and he is higher tier than you are. This would be level 2 harm. If you resist, you can reduce it to level 1 harm.
Can I mark off? Can I use armor at this point?
You can use armor if you use armor or resist, it will be level 1. If you use both, it will be level 2, and then you will have marked off armor for the next
mission.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll just take the level 1 mark off armor.
Cool. Yeah. So he he senses you behind him. He grabs his blaster, fires off a shot that
Like
you
knock his arm away.
yeah. So it just hits your shoulder pad,
Mhm.
and then you have the knife at his throat, and
Yeah.
he's
I just want him like up against the wall, like robot arm against the wall.
yeah.
Like knife to.
Yeah. And
My intention is not to torture him, so if this crosses a line, let me know. Or
yeah.
I just want to take a trophy from him to bring back to Winger to let him know. If I could take off something,
Yeah.
ear, finger,
You
eyeball,
don't have
whatever.
a lot of time because like his partner, and this is Valdo, his partner, is saw you go into the alley. There was like a huge cart with eels rolling past, so he's a bit delayed, but it's like seconds before he's here, not minutes.
Yeah, I guess just a quick flash, and then like don't mess with Black Sun, and then bang against the wall,
Nice.
and then disappear.
Yeah, well, the disappearance, I'd like to see a roll for that as well.
Right.
So,
Since
yeah,
both Rook and I need to disappear, can it be a group action?
it can absolutely be a group action.
Excellent.
If Rook wants to be part of this in the actual action and not just
They'll allow me to use my infiltration module if it's a group action.
So
yeah.
My intention here is to keep an eye on Elliot to see how all this goes down, and we need to absolutely get away. So it's within just my best interests and Elliot's best interests that this is a group action. Absolutely.
Cool. I will lead that then.
Okay.
So I'll be starting with 3 dice. I think I'll just take the 3 dice.
And what will that be? What action?
Prowl.
Okay.
Prowl makes sense. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
This is standard risky unless the thing does the infiltration one.
Cool. I got a 5.
Cool. So Rook.
I got a 1.
Cool. I'll take that stress.
1 stress for Elliot, but you get the 5 for the whole group. You do it with a consequence. And I think that's what makes sense with that. Well, it's going to be a complication of some kind. I mean, you leave behind the hollow thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the consequence, that you have to leave the hollow thing behind, and maybe they'll be able to work something out from that. So they have something that you have that you have used. You can resist that if you want.
I am going to resist
actually,
that.
let's put it this way: you leave that behind. That will give you 1 heat for the crew.
Definitely resist it then. Yeah.
Cool.
2 dice.
I should use the mechanics that are there instead of trying to do that.
Are you going to have it destroy itself, or are you going to shoot it, or are you going to pick it up?
Yeah. What do you do?
Ooh, self-destruct would be great. I love that idea. Cool. That is 2 heat for me, and that takes me out. Or 2 stress. Oh. That gets me a fault.
Harsh.
Yeah. But it blows up and we're out.
Yeah. So you run out of the alley. He's like screaming bloody murder from being cut, and he goes to grab the hollow thing, and you like hit the button and it explodes.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you have pushed them towards being more suspicious of Black Sun in what's going on here, and yeah. Cool. I think we could work this into being a downtime action for reducing heat, if that's something you're interested in. Or
that would be really cool. Yeah. I'll take that action. since my stress is gone now. What am I rolling for that?
For heat, you
Heat.
pick an action.
So it's the action.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll a new one, or do you want to use one of the rolls that I did?
Make a new roll
Okay.
specifically for this. You get 1 die if a friend or contact helps you. I don't think you involved anyone in this, unless you want to flashback to someone.
Tell me again how you could have extra die.
Does Rook
if
count
a-
as helping?
Yeah, if a friend or contact helps you,
Mm,
and that's like outside the crew. So
okay. Yeah, I'll just do the roll.
And what roll?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna argue for the prowl because that was the like coming up behind with a knife.
Sure.
Is that cool?
Okay. Being a big scary assassin droid.
Yeah, well, it's just gonna be 1.
Oof. Yeah, but still 1 hit is 1
Yeah,
hit.
1 hit's better than taking a heat.
So
Yeah, and I think like on the way back, like as we're scooting, like I revealed to Rook that it was a little bit deeper than just the armor. Like that's why I'm taking out. I think it's like I'm gonna need to get back and get this taken care of. Need to take care of.
Do you mention your call sign at some point, or your name? You're like, I am LVT2455.
I think we'll head to Kavi's. We'll do the typical. We've headed out.
Mhm.
And even better, since you were taken out, and you do you power down or?
I probably go like low power mode, like
Okay.
creepy red eyes.
We'll take off. But I'm gonna give KZ a call and have KZ come pick us up. So this is us switching cars and all that kind of stuff to throw everyone off our tail. And once we get to KZ, I'm going to tell him he needs to take us to see Kavi so that you can get repaired.
Cool.
Absolutely, no problem. But I'll quickly move. Zipping through. Got to get our guy fixed.
Yeah, and I didn't think about this before, but like having a droid mechanic on the as a specialist should definitely count as you having the extra thing for recovering harm. Cool. So go to Kavi. Do you want to play that out, or do we?
So I don't think it's going to be actually recovering harm. It's just going to be like the fictionally like getting me back from being taken out. I'll still be blasted up.
Yeah. So I think you get to Kavi, and I forgot to roll for her. Yeah, she doesn't have her arm in a sling anymore. She's recovered enough that she can use both arms. I think there's a customer there that she kind of like, yeah, sorry, I'll take care of this later, and kind of like rushes them out. You come in like the back through the back, and she sees you, and actually she goes back, and Rosie like ushers the customer out, and Kavi comes up to you, and is he? What happened? Is this? And she like checks the burn, blaster burn. Notices it's not really serious, but is and she calls up her gonk droid and like plugs him right into you and just starts powering you up.
Running diagnostics and whatnot.
Yeah. Brooke, what have you been doing? This doesn't look good.
We were, so whenever you got roughed up and we kind of took care of it, one of ours also got roughed up. Winger, have you seen him lately? Winger's kind of hurt. So, we no, this is, you're loyal to the crew, right? You're part of the crew now.
Oh yeah.
You can't talk about this. This is not public information.
Of
But
course.
we just had to get the sec pointed in the right direction so they didn't come after us. And I think it turns out Winger was just picked up because of who he is. So that was a mess. But Mark, do you know what you took as a trophy?
I'm gonna say it was an ear, unless other folks feel bad about that. Then I'll pick something else.
Maybe just like the earlobe.
Yeah, it's like the something I
Okay.
can show to Winger.
Actually, if you know Winger, like he'd like something like the guy's badge, or
Mm,
some symbol of his authority more than he would want like
Ooh.
the actual person hurt.
mhm.
Like
Maybe
he'd rather have them disgraced than like he's not a eye for an eye kind of guy.
Mm.
But you are.
Elliot is, yeah.
And so, like, just throwing that out there.
yeah.
maybe like he had he wasn't in uniform, but he had like his uniform shirt under his coat. He
Mm,
has like his some bars or something on the collar, and you just cut the collar off.
yeah. I just want to make sure he was hurt and understands that he will be hurt if something happens.
You start with the ear,
Yeah,
and it goes
work
through
all the way down.
It goes down.
Yeah.
And you're
And I
like,
think
oh,
we have to remember, what would Black Sun do, right? They wouldn't just take a badge or a collar. They'd take a piece.
Arm.
I was thinking an eye, but
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, so I think the three of us are here. I'm gonna get Winger here,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna give Winger a call and say, hey, meet us at Kavi's. We're going to, we have some business to discuss.
Yeah, Kavi goes to like flip the sign to close.
so what you're saying is Hazy left me after our discussion, and now I'm being told we've got some things to discuss.
Meet us at the warehouse.
Oh, oh shit. All right. I deserve this.
Mm. Yeah.
I head on over.
Great. I think whenever you show up, I'm waiting for you at the door. And I kind of put an arm around you and I walk you back.
Oh God.
And Elliot's kind of lying on the table. And I say, Elliot, do you want to tell Winger? I mean,
Sit up.
it's your job.
Yeah. I said, Elliot, come
fuck?
here.
What the Kark?
Elliot, come closer.
Oh, okay.
My hand shoots out.
Ah!
Drop whatever the trophy was. Like if you catch it or like drop it in front of you, I just say, this is what happens to someone who hurts one of us.
Oh God.
You're welcome. Sex Act will not be bothering you anymore.
Yeah. Except the implied message there.
Yeah.
is so much worse.
And I think
So-
oh, go ahead.
I just say I'm staring at what's in my hands. Go on. No, Stephen, go on. What you were going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, Elliot, Winger, you did a really good job. I know you took it rough. I checked around. They were picking up all Chadrafan. So you were, and they were all treated just like you were. They had the snot beaten out of them. So we made sure that the group who was doing that,
knows that discrimination is not okay.
That's right. And we also pointed them in the direction of the imps and Black Sun again, indicating, and I turned to Elliot. Was it more the imps or more Black Sun?
I think it was the imps directly and Black Sun implicitly as a like they own them, so don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
Because if it was just the imps, they'd
So
probably be like, "Oh, we're gonna go rough up the imps." But if it's
Yeah.
Black Sun, they're like, "Oh, let's think about this."
yeah, and I just wanted to put everything out on the table. That I think everybody's doing a really good job making sure that the group stays in good standing and doesn't get implicated in a lot of these issues. You're still kind of messed up, aren't you, Winger?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think my heal clock is like really like 1 dot maybe. I don't know. Something really low. No, nothing on my healing clock yet. I haven't had a chance to because we only had half of our downtime
okay.
actions.
Do you want
So,
to
yeah,
try
I
and
got a
take
full
that
1.
now and
Sure.
try and heal up?
Yeah, yeah.
I think now's a good time.
Okay. Well, before I jump to all of that, I would say like, well, and I looked at Casey for a second, but this goes deep. We need to talk. There's more. Okay, Rich, see. But he'll talk to Rook. I mean, Casey already knows Elliot's being healed. So while Rook is, I assume Rook is doing the healing, right? That's how I get the extra die.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's a conversation between you and me, where I tell you everything that, like, as a player, you know that I've so far told Casey everything. So I'm telling you everything, the same everything.
Okay. Basically, about the amount of money and that Black Sun wants us to do a job for a lot of money to find out who really did it.
But you omit the "I'm really tempted to roll on everyone," right? You
Yeah.
changed that part, right?
I did.
Okay, good.
I did. I owe you money for that. So
Good choice.
so I roll, or maybe you roll, Rook. How do I heal? It's
Yeah, you roll your lifestyle,
right.
but with +1 die because Rook has medic. So you're rolling 1 die.
Okay.
Unless, I want to make sure. Yeah, you still have the +1 die if a friend or contact helps you. I don't think anyone else is involved at this point, right? Oh, sorry.
I think, would Kavi have like the right kind of equipment? I mean, she's a droid repair place, but she'd at least have a table or something like that. I guess she wouldn't have sanitary equipment. That's true.
No, and I think actually, when I rewrote the recover thing, I think I intended that to fall under the proper care thing. So it's just you have the 1 die. Yeah.
It reminds me, a local well-known hospital, Duke Hospital, here in North Carolina, many years ago. You clean the medical instruments after they're used, and you put them in a bag, and they stay that way until they get used. Well, somehow, and I don't know the details of this, the equipment was cleansed with elevator hydraulic fluid, and some people got really sick. So that's what it reminds me of like getting worked on at a droid place. It's like, well, maybe this over here would work. All right, let's see how much I heal. Hey, I got a 6.
Nice. That's 3 takes.
That's 3.
If you spend a cred, you can upgrade that to crit, which would give you 5 ticks, which means 1 full way around the clock and 1 extra. But maybe you don't.
All of my money is in my stash.
I will
Yeah.
spend a cred for that. And this is the equivalent of me going out and getting better equipment or better medicine, so that you can then crit. And I think in doing so, I go out and I meet with somebody, I get some, the right thing to help heal Winger up, and I come back and I say, we take care of our own. So does that get rid of your wounds?
Yeah, well,
it drops it to level 1 instead of level 2.
Okay. So you were at level 2. Okay.
So I'll go to bruised, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the extra tick on the healing clock rolls over. You have one tick.
Very cool. Very cool.
How much money do we have in the vault?
Gosh.
A whole cred. 1 whole cred.
Okay.
Double critical. But no. So yeah, like I also think that like maybe they also like Winger also has like a cyber hand. So they might have like beaten it up a little bit too. So it is somewhat appropriate to be here for at least for the hand part.
Mhm.
Now he can do a much better job at Sawtooth, which would make Sawtooth angry. So perfect. So I love the cycle of win and lose.
So before we get to the last downtime actions, I think you should probably settle on what job you want to do, because we should get to that at least the next session. So what you
So let's
currently,
talk.
yeah, the offers you have is the small job for InGeeks, and like I said, that doesn't have to be a full mission. That can be like a side part of a job you're doing. So the 2 main jobs are from Rack to somehow get information from Industrial Automaton on what they knew about the smuggling droid brain smuggling operation, why they were interested, that sort of thing, all of that. Or for Zori Bliss to try to pin the bombing on someone else. Those are the 2. And if you have an idea for a job you want to do on your own, then we can absolutely work that in.
Test.
I think it's going to take some.
I like
go
the
ahead.
I like the Zori thing personally.
I would
That's the
probably
Black
lean
Sun
more
job.
towards the droid one, but
Okay,
I'm open to whatever.
I'm open to that as well.
So here's my take on it. Whenever Black Sun comes in and offers you a bunch of money, you kind of want to make sure that no one else gets hired for that, because then they get the money and they could implicate us. The droid thing wasn't something that had to happen right away, right?
Right.
We could
Yeah.
do it as the next job or something like that.
Let's do
Although I
Black Sun
don't
then.
know what
Yeah.
what the heck can we do to make Black Sun happy, because we've only been implicating Black Sun and we know who really did it, right? So I don't know what kind of take we can do on that.
We've been implicating the squad.
Who are Black Sun?
Who are Black Sun? But if Black Sun, if they fall out of favor with Black Sun, there's an opening.
I will not work for Black Sun.
Except for this one job.
Only
I
if they
don't
pay
think
me
this job
X.
This job is not us actually working for them. This is us
For
trying
us.
to, yeah,
Right.
this is us trying to hide what they're doing.
Out of character, one of our options is just like give them our boss. But only in such a way where he can't talk about us. Like
Dead. So
dead.
yeah.
Damn. We are cold.
So that's replacing. Yeah, that's replacing our patron with another patron.
Yeah.
It
Um,
is.
We could implicate Corsac somehow.
The one that's going to feel the most real, though, is the actual real one. So, anyway, again, that's all out of character.
Yeah,
but I'm
all
sure
this could.
But I'm sure that Winger is thinking about all these things too. He's the spider, right? Like he has to think of all this stuff. So
If we
It's
can figure out a way to
also-
implicate Corsac, then Black Sun will actually come after them.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the issue that whoever you implicate will know that they didn't do it. So it's, I mean, you would have to have some fairly convincing,
Mhm.
like circumstantial evidence to point towards someone else. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion. Whenever Anders said, whoever we pin this on would know that they did it.
They would know that they didn't do it.
Yeah, they know that they didn't do it. They might not. What if they were droids and had been wiped? We could tie this in with the other thing. So if we could find an Imperial assassin droid like you, Elliot,
There's
and
no
wipe their brain.
droid like me.
Okay, but if we could find one that would substitute, and it doesn't have to be operable, we can say this was the implication that the droids, these ex-Imperial droids, went in, and we could pin it on whoever, including the group that are stealing these droid brains, and put some heat on them.
you know, when
Yeah.
that question list, when you're you're doing the engagement role, when it's like, is this overly complicated or dependent on too many details? This is what this question was about.
Yep.
So if we're looking for a droid, because we should involve a crew in this, or a faction, I should say. If you're trying to pin it on some droids, we should have a faction.
But we would choose the faction that used the droids that we're pinning it on.
Right. Yeah. That could absolutely be the case. So, and then it's not the squad because they work for Black Sun, so it wouldn't be them. If we're looking at some Imperials, then we have, where are they? The Next Order, they are Imperial loyalists, stay behinds. They could definitely be involved in this. Those are your rivals from before. So that's a possibility. If we're looking at droids, we have the Bolt Smashers, who are droid revolutionaries, and we have 110010, who is a more like a true criminal, a crew of droid criminals who have connections with the central consciousness, which is the big droid thing in the realm.
So let me ask the question about. Refresh my memory on what we know about the people who are taking the droid brains and the people who attacked the warehouse where the droid brains were.
Yeah.
Who were they?
So the ones who picked up the droid brains, I don't know if we established what faction they are, but they are likely the Bolt Smashers or connected to the Bolt Smashers. Not for certain. They could also be directly connected to the central consciousness, if that's what's involved with this. You're not sure. You don't have that information. You don't know Rick, the droid Rick. You don't know. No, sorry, that's not Rick. That's the other one. That's the name. This is K3PX. Is down on line 170. You're not sure what crew that droid is involved with. You could do some gather info to find out. That's the sort of thing you can figure out. So that was them. Industrial Automaton were the ones who jumped in. Rack, your handler, thinks it was his manager who tipped them off. That's why they showed up there. They're a droid corporation, so they have a natural interest in droids, and droid brains have value. And if there's something going on with droids, that's definitely something they'd be interested in.
So the immediate job is to find a droid to use as a tool to pin it on whoever we.
So let's not go too far down that. Let's not go too far down that path. My suggestion is, okay, we take the job for Black Sun to find out who caused the explosion because it caused them problems. But we know we did, right? So I don't like the idea of us turning over our bosses because it implicates us.
Right.
So we're trying to pick who are we going to get Black Sun to go to war with.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking out what the actual job is that we're going to be doing to make that happen.
Yeah. So the job is in the bombing on someone else. That's what you're trying to do. We don't need to go into super deep detail, but I think we need to know who you're trying to pin it on.
Right. Are there any rivalries between Corsac and Sexsec that we can exploit if we want to go that way?
Between Corsac and StreetSec?
StreetSec, yeah.
A little bit. It's like Corsac are the detectives, StreetSec are the beat cops. So there's definitely some rivalry there, but it's highly unlikely that either of them would they wouldn't as agencies do that. If they were infiltrated by Imperials, like ex-Imperials, then yeah, maybe. But there's no real reason for them to go after Office of Trade and Industry, which is the ones you are working for. So, I mean, no real reason doesn't mean that there couldn't be some reason.
Manufacture something,
yeah. Sorry, your question, Mark, threw me down a rabbit hole that I have to ask this question. I mean, KZ would probably suggest this because this logic feels like KZ logic, which is not an insult. So Squad is Black Sun. They don't want to be pinned under this. Who does Black Sun hate? The Hutts? What if we pin it on the Hutts because the Black Sun will be more likely to believe that because they already want a reason to roll up on those guys?
Yeah.
The Hutts and the Pike Syndicate. They are like the
oh my
Black
God,
Sun,
I really
the
would
Hutts and the Pike Syndicate.
I would have butt heads with either of those fuckers. This is great.
I think the Pikes is fun.
So we don't have. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm going to say one more thing here before I let Kai in. The Pike Syndicate, they are heavily into spice smuggling, which means they have a natural conflict with the Office of Trade and Industry, who handle like both trade things and border controls, customs, that sort of thing.
Is there anyone?
Wait. Kai was trying to say.
Oh,
Kai,
sorry,
you were trying to. Yeah, I just want to make sure we didn't lose that. Kai, weren't you trying to say something?
Yeah, and so was Steven. So I'll make mine quick. Long story short, if they're the same level as the other group, that's one giant step. But if they're like looking at a level 3 or level 2 tier gang, they might be more likely to act on that because that's something that is in their capabilities or whatever. Going to war with the Hutts is one thing, but like taking out the Minox is much different in terms of scale. So that was what I had to say. But then Steven was saying something, and then Mark was saying something.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of was exactly what you just said was, it's brilliant to suggest letting someone else do the job for us, which is pick someone else that the Black Sun already hates.
Yeah. I think so. Kai, are you saying that it would be better for them to go up against someone their weight class, or it would be better for them to go after someone they could take out? Like, would it be better for them to be like, oh, the Pikes, we can't really do anything against them, so they wouldn't really
I would combine
investigate
the
so
two
much, or like
together.
they smash someone?
I think it would be something like, you know, group gang tier 3 is working for the Huts.
Hmm.
And so this will be a strike against the Huts.
Right.
It might be easier for them to swallow. But I think in the end, this is just a bold, daring, and we're going to get carked if we don't pull it off right maneuver, no matter who we implement.
Yeah. I think the question is, is it better if Black Sun does take action against who we implicate, or if they don't? So if they do, they could just take them out. If they don't, then the other group couldn't be like,
well,
no, we didn't.
If they take action, that means they aren't paying anybody else to look into us.
True. Yes. Yeah. That's right.
To clear some things up there, Black Sun is tier 4, so is the Hut Cartel. The Pikes are tier 3 currently because they're not fully established yet. So they are definitely weaker than Black Sun.
Is any group, are they a patron of any group?
There's
Here.
no one that works directly that are closely associated with the Pike Syndicate.
I think the Pikes is the best then.
I agree. Yeah.
So someone said something about there was a connection between, I thought it was the Pikes and like the Office of Trade and Industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the GM thing.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just saying that was something Under said.
Yeah. The Pikes do a lot of spice smuggling, and the Office of Trade and Industry handles customs. So there's a natural conflict there. Which makes it believable that the Pikes would do something against do the bombing.
Yeah. So how do we make it look like the Pikes were going after the Office of Trade and Industry?
That's the job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think let's let that rest for a little bit. Because we have a couple of more downtime actions left, and then we can come back to that and figure out what your approach would be.
And we could do research or whatever. So
do some gather information and
gather information.
Absolutely. That could like clarify what how you want to do the job, what the job will be. So
experience and
I think because we're getting up on time, I don't think we'll have time to do all the mission stuff and do XP and all of that. So I think we should probably cut to go do XP now. Next session we'll do the last bit of downtime and then get into the engage control. That gives everyone a bit of time to think about ways that this job could work as well.
Let's summarize what downtime is left before we leave.
Because
I've done both of mine.
I've done both of mine.
Yeah. But KZ and Rook each have a downtime action left.
I could real quick. I want to get some heat off of us.
Yeah, cool.
So that should be easy peasy. I think what I'm gonna do is what do we have heat from other than the thing that we're freaking out about?
Mostly that, I think.
not much. You didn't get a lot of heat from your other jobs. It is mainly from the bombing.
Okay. If we're sold on Pike, then what I can do is just use Sway, and as I'm driving around and gigging, I'll be talking up like, "Oh, you hear about the Pikes, man? They're really moving in," and that's my getting heat off as the setup for selling out Pikes. And I think that might be a Sway if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. So we can get that out of the way so we don't have it hanging over.
Cool.
And then we have
Oh,
one
pitiful.
extra.
I rolled a 3 and a 2.
Yikes.
1 hit.
Okay, great.
But you're
Glad
down to
that, yeah.
you're down to 2, which gives you another point of influence.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'll just leave myself a note, 1 downtime left.
Yeah, for the entire, anybody in the group can take it.
I have already taken my downtime.
Mhm.
I took that to train insight during the scene that I had with Elliot when I was tracking things down.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I think we just have that one floating downtime that's left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do XP and then stars and wishes. Let's do crew XP first. Did you successfully complete the score? No. Did you contend with challenges above your station? I'm going to say yes,
Mhm.
like messing with Corsac and such. Did you live up to your reputation or use it to your advantage? I think just taking on this job is living up to being ambitious. I think that's going to count. Develop the inner life of the crew, definitely with a scene with KZ and Winger, and also the whole scene at Kavis later with all of that. I think both those scenes were great. Did you develop the crew's relationship to other factions?
I mean, for taking that job, then you like
Yeah.
talking with Zori is, yeah,
Talking with Zori and your interaction with the street sec, right?
yeah. Of course, yeah.
True. Did a crew member make a sacrifice for the good of the crew?
Took a blaster shot.
Yeah,
I spent
that's
money
true,
to heal
actually.
Winger.
That's true.
It's true, yeah.
There you go. I think that's
Yeah.
good.
Cool. So that is 5 XP, which fills you
Nice.
up, and you have 3 extra. So do you want to figure out advance now? Did you start? Yeah, you started working on training. So
You want to finish that up?
Yeah.
second one there.
Cool.
Now you have prowess training as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
Booyah.
Individual XP. KZ, your question.
Yeah. Did you bring your background into play? Background of military empire. I feel like maybe at least I hinted to say this is my imperial like stuff. I don't know. Did I bring it into play? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Did your vice or trauma hinder you? I was pretty reckless. Pretty reckless. I think I would actually argue for that one. I felt like I did reckless stuff. Did you
Okay.
develop a relationship with another character? I feel like Winger and I had a pretty tight
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
To improve your personal situation, no, I did not actually gig for creds. I just mentioned it as a hand wavy thing. Did you approach a problem with style or devil may care attitude? So that's the question I have. If I have reckless and I've got a playbook related style devil, that feels like a double, doesn't feel very fair.
I mean, yeah, it's that is true.
To everyone but
think,
me, it feels super fair to me, like extra fair, like fair
Yeah.
plus.
I don't have a problem with triggering both with like the same thing. I think what you need to focus is on with the trauma. It's a question: did it hinder you? Like, did this cause problems for me?
Okay, then what I'm going to do is approaching a problem with style. Yes, trauma hindering me. No, I don't think it
Cool.
hindered me. I
Yeah.
was just mostly making sure I was. Oh shoot! Now that I have a trauma, I'm going to take stress if I don't. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's
Do you
true.
approach a
Oh,
problem
yeah.
with deception or stealth? I was really straight up with Winger. I feel like I did the opposite of that, so I think that's a no.
Well, you were lying to people in your gig work about the Pike Syndicate.
Hey,
true.
I'll take it. Thank you very much. Sweet 4XP. Woohoo.
Next is Elliot.
Yeah. Did I bring my configuration as an assassin droid into play? Yes, I did. Did my Vicer faults hinder you? My fault is rebellious, and I was thinking like just going to shoot a cop because he roughed up my friend. Kind of. I don't know if it hindered me. I don't think I took as many precautions as I could have, but
You
I don't know
took
if that
you
counts.
took another fault
I
from
did.
that.
Vicious. Yeah.
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 Let's maybe that's covered from something else, but I'm not opposed to you taking an XP for that. But let's
Yeah.
see.
I'll take it. Did I develop my relationship with another character? Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Did I improve my personal situation? The opposite. Did I approach a problem by employing my specialized skills? Yeah, I did the infiltration and S-Comp link. And I did my approach with stealth and deception. Yeah. So that's 5.
Cool.
It goes in the
I'm
old playbook.
starting to wonder if that maybe that employing your specialized skills should be written a little bit tighter, just to because that's what like generally everyone does, uses their specialized skills. I may reword that a little bit just to make it a little bit more specific. Cool. Rook.
Did you bring your background into play? My background is military and labor. I don't think so.
Yep, coordinating the hit tactics there.
Okay. Did your vice or trauma hinder you? Devotion, pleasure are my vices, and haunted is my trauma. I don't think so. Did you develop your relationship with another character? I believe I did. Did you improve your personal situation? I don't think so. Did you approach a problem with cunning or distrust? Yes. I did not trust Elliot to go out and do that by himself. And did you approach a problem with deception or stealth? Yes.
Winger.
Okay. I'm not muted. Good. Did you bring your background into play? Well, that's capital B background. So like the droids or the labor. No, I mean, other than pointing us towards the pikes that I know have friction with the labor, like I can't even think of anything on that one. Did my vice or trauma hinder you? No, it actually gave me an opportunity. Did you develop your relationship with another character?
Yeah,
and let's double. Yeah, okay. Did you improve your personal situation? I was given spice, and I was offered room in someone's trunk. But
Rook paid to heal you. I think that
right. So my personal situation improved, but I didn't do the improving.
Yeah, I don't think that's the important part. The important part.
I disagree. You chose to be hurt, right? You could have turned over on us and taken a different consequence. This was not in this session, but in the last session. So you benefited because of decisions you had made.
Yeah, I think the intent is, are you better off now at the end of the session than you were at the beginning of the session? And I think the answer to that is yes. You're not as badly hurt, and I'm not opposed to you taking an XP for that.
Oh, okay. If the question really is, is your situation better than when you started the session? Then we could change the question.
Yeah, I should
Mhm.
probably reword that.
Did you approach a problem with calculation or planning? I think that it would be double dipping. I think it's the discussion with KZ about like, how do we present this to the group that doesn't involve me looking like a person who would turn.
Yeah, I think that totally counts.
You think so? Okay. Did I approach a problem with deception or stealth? Well, I didn't tell Zori it was us. But no, I was very forthright. So I'll stick with the 3 XP.
Let's do stars and wishes. Let's do them together since we're at the hour. So let's start with you, Kai.
Let's see. I think it's wild and cool that we didn't I'm not gonna say hand wave, but just summarize what Elliot did with like a single roll. Like we made that like a full on, basically like a mini engagement. And like I didn't ask for it, but it was for my character, and that made me feel really cool. So I really appreciated that. So stars for that, and stars for you know, making me feel really uncomfortable at the very end in the when I showed up to be talked to talk about something very important. I thought that was great tension building. And KZ, I like the fact that you're flirting with Ingnix now. That makes me happy. Wishes. I would we keep we as a group keep like tapping the pulse of rumors and putting rumors into play and stuff like that. Is there any way that we could get like more than just what we're focused on? You know, other things that might be going on in the background in terms of like of a living campaign. While it may not seem significant now, but like later, like sessions later on, we're like, oh, wait a minute, didn't so and so say this, so and so? You know, those kinds of tools are only available if we like, you know, lay them down early. So since we're hanging out at that bar a lot, I was just wondering, or if like we really like, if we my wish is that we develop who owns the bar, and then see if we can increase our knowledge of the rumors of the area.
Cool.
That is done. That's me.
Cool. So Steven.
Yeah. So I'll start with wishes. I want to make sure we don't do the job next time too complicated. We started to get I started to get wrapped up in the details and everything like that, like how we were going to do it. And I think that's what flashbacks are for. So we'll figure out what we're going to do, go through it. I want to make sure I don't get stuck in the details. Stars, the discussion between KZ and Elliot and KZ and Winger was just chef's kiss. It was amazing. I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed the interaction with the different people at the bar. The fact that that bar has become a central point for us, and Ignix and you know different people came in. That was great. I liked the scene with Elliot where he was like, "I'm just going to reach out and gack this guy." I didn't expect you to be there. I expected it all to be a hologram, and the fact that you just reached out and just came out of the shadows, that was amazing. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Mark.
Yeah. Whacking the cop is always fun. I really enjoyed the conversation between Casey and Winger. That was so tense. I had no idea what was going to happen there.
But also noir,
yeah,
very noir.
super noir. I love it so much. Yeah, really enjoying seeing the more of the Winger getting picked up by Zori, folks talking to folks in the bar, kind of fleshing that stuff out feels really good. I really like the way that Steven is playing Rook doesn't trust Elliot, but in a productive way. Not oh, I'm gonna stop you from doing the thing you're doing. I'm gonna help you just so I can be there. That's really fun. Yeah, good time all around. Wishes. I'm curious to see what this job is gonna look like mostly. And yeah, I've got stuff that's not really wishes, just stuff that's gonna happen. So
Cool, thank you. Rich.
It's weird that Zori showing up in a scene gave me a feeling similar to Michael Rappaport showing up in the middle of a sci-fi TV show when I had no expectation of a cameo. But it did. Seeing Zori, and also that Zori's in a better spot. Oh, because she's not dealing with our old crew. That's probably why.
I wanted to say something like that, but I didn't.
Not hang around losers anymore.
So I just star for that. That really tickled me more than it probably logically should, but I at least wanted to share. Hey, I had a moment, and thank you for that, providing that. Stars to the conversation around XP, and not just first of all, that I'm not the only one who does it made me feel less dumb when I realized, oh, I'm doing it wrong. And then that we had a productive conversation about it after the fact. It was really cool. It's something I love about playing with folks who are all pretty conversant and fluent in a particular RPG system. It's really nice. It's fun. So that was a huge star. I loved the conversation with Winger. I felt you guys are right. There's definitely some noir, but for some reason, for me, it felt very Sopranos. It felt very from a Sopranos moment, and that's high praise because I think that's a great show. So that really, I appreciate Kai that you made your character vulnerable, and because that scene would not have had the kind of fire to it if you hadn't thought about what was going on in Winger's life and said, this is a lot. It went from you talking earlier about, yeah, I'm just scrabbling for some creds, and I'm like, aren't we all? And then, but I've had my wrist broken, and this is a lot, and it's tempting to be like that. That put it to a fine point that led to an interesting conversation. And I quite liked that. Steven is Rook. I love this. I could just put out the little bit of Rook will kill you if you tell the truth, and Steven's gonna lean into that hard. That was neat. Because there was a moment early in the conversation where I thought, I think I have to shoot Winger right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was literally like, oh God, please no, don't make me shoot your character.
You would have shot first too, because I don't think I even have a gun on me. So
yeah. But I really like where it ended up. It was odd that hint towards potential betrayal, and then we all folded around and the rest of the episode decision, whatever. My brain always thinks of this as a TV show. Was, hey, here's a piece of an ear of a guy who hurt you, and also we care about this, and that was cool. It felt like a writer's room result.
Yes,
but it was all set in motion, from previous sessions, so it wasn't a, hey, we're all gonna have scenes about this one thing now. It felt of a piece. It was really, really cool. So lots of stars.
Yeah, and that's 100% why I decided to take an ear or whatever instead of just killing guys. because of the conversation you guys had, I
Oh, that's
have to
awesome.
show something to Winger.
That was awesome. That was really, really cool. It was such a good tying a bow on that. I loved it. I mean, and maybe Winger's not 100% satisfied. I don't know if I would be. As I mentioned earlier when talking about Stash, this is a bad life we're in. So yeah, good stuff. Really enjoyed. When initially you let off saying it's mostly downtime, I'm like, oh, okay, good, but no, this was good. No complaints. I didn't want a job to get in our way. It was cool. Wishes. I don't know. I feel like we solved some of my stuff in the game, talking about XP, and I appreciate the solution of, okay, stick it the way you are and spend it, but then let's come up with a solution going forward, and Steven's idea. So like the XP I just got at the end of this session, I dumped it all into one of the attributes that I plan on raising. But I would like a different solution down the road. So it's just there, different solution for XP. That's it. That's it. I get a wish, so you don't have to grant it. For 4 XP tracks. Solve my one problem in Place of the Dark and Dash, because he gets a wish. So there you go. That's it. This was a really fun session.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, my stars are pretty much the same. Love the conversation between Winger and KZ and the scene at Kavis later. I also enjoyed having the conversation between Winger and Zori. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, I just yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to say, like, if you hadn't prompted me and I ended up giving you the answer about, like, what's going on with me right now, like, I had a meta thought while we're having, like, after the conversation was over, I was like, this is a beautiful setup to, like, talk about, like, betraying. And I was like, well, is that in character? And then I was just like, oh yeah, it's definitely in character. And I couldn't have done that if you hadn't prompted me before. Everything after that was just role play, but like I did make that one meta decision. I'm like, yeah, Winger's gonna have to have some hard thoughts about this. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. And then the conversation happened. So you brought about star to you for bringing up the thing that made me do the thing that everyone's giving stars for. So.
Cool, thank you. And yeah, I really enjoyed, like, beyond the individual scenes, which were great. I really enjoyed the way that everyone played with that possibility of betrayal, like in an open way, and with, like, everything being on the table and everyone being aware of, yeah, that's what that means. It would have these consequences, and allowing that to be a thing instead of going straight to the, like, the meta level of, yeah, but we all trust each other and we're working together, yeah, but allowing that to develop and feel organic instead of just defaulting to what the setup of the game is. So I really liked that. That was not something I intended or expected, but it was a very pleasant surprise, I guess. As much of the cool stuff that happens in role-playing games are. The XP thing, I feel like I kind of, like, as I often do when rules stuff comes up and something is unclear, I tend to, like, immediately just default to, yeah, that's what the rules say, instead of, like, oh, we should figure out a way to make this work. But I think just having a general XP pool and then spending it on whatever is probably the best solution. So I think just put everything that isn't specifically training or desperate roles, because training and desperate roles, those go on the specific XP tracks. But everything else, just put it in playbook XP and spend from there to the other thing. I think that's what all of you have done anyway, so I think that's the most natural solution for it. That way we don't need to do anything special, and I don't need to fiddle around with the character sheets. Cool. Yeah, super fun session. I'm glad we took the time to do a lot of downtime. I always enjoy those sessions. I don't want to do them every time because sometimes you also want to just keep things rolling. One thing that Kai reminded me of with the rumors thing is I've done this a little bit, but I don't think it's come up in play much, is to have more stuff happening in the background, like things going on with the other factions. I wanted, right when we started, I was thinking, yeah, I want to do that, but I don't want to do it right away. I want to get the characters set up and just your immediate environment ready. But I think that was a good reminder that I think we're at the point where that sort of thing should start filtering in. So yeah, expect a bit more of that. Yeah, cool. Next session we'll do this job, see what happens with that, and then if I'm counting right, we have one more session after next session before we have the break in May, and then we'll see what happens. So presumably we'll do this job. Maybe there will be time for another job after that, but we'll see. It depends a bit on how much fallout there is from whatever this turns out to be. Cool. I think that's it.
Feels when you
You're
said
mute.
no, it got weird feels when you said we're almost done. Like, okay.
Yeah. But
Okay.
we will talk about that later.
Sounds good. Cool. I'll
Yep.
stop the recording here.